Batman. N-W-O. Chichi Fire. For real. Babylon is high. Well, King Samir in the place. Man, we are gonna murder some pussy boy in all tracks. Watch us there, mash up the sound, the pussy are gonna fight them face. King, come in. Well, it's one Medina soldier who be in your mind again. I caused the rain, the hell with snow, earthquake in the whirlwind. Chinky yard, Asiatic, true and living mathematics. Coming through the static dungeons, raiding devil's addicts. Land them off in one, go plan them, plan for the murder. Have you ever heard or not? Tell me what's the word. Bombing all you faggots, man who follow Jimmy Swagger. Got the liquid youth sticking pins in their head. While you're fed into the beast, now the beast that made him savage. Tucking away them shitty ass blunts, done that be full of babbage. Bumping on the fluff in the gods I trust. New Lord and clan, knotting up the place, your brain is dust like dust. In the 2200 miles they walk, fuck the robber, I was lost, bumble clock, shit talk. Put him off the uncle, can't speak God, you best bow down. To King Self-Allah, master, I pull everything around. My circumference always hot, watch your ass evaporate. Stick the shit out your bitch while your ass percolate. Hate the evil in the living manifestation. Been in more black holes than Mr. Max Million. So one, bring them style of mine. No for cause division. Shredding dice like Wolverine from Michigan. Boy, coming like this. Every day there's these slaughter when you try cross the border. Every day you're on fire when you try test the border. Every day there's these slaughter when you try cross the border. Every day I'm on fire when you try to test the order. Represent to the fullest. Reaching for my level, you like the gravitational pulling. University speaking, a man is true and divine soldier. With my style down versatile to make your ass like soldiers. Niggas playing fruity pebbles, Lord Master, dropping boulders. Dicks on the crowd and blackjack still can't reach me. President to teach me, please. Jacking heathens, that's my Steve. Niggas all fall at me when we crush them degrees. Got no shit you talking niggas like a bartender breeze. Your religion's all twisted with them last prophecies. In the culture of hip-hop, civilized Jews run the sound. Like my righteous brother Jesus cutting heads of devils around. Marijuana smalls, maintaining Stonehenge. Nigga challenge one son, I got your brains for revenge. Slaves his ass a massacre, a damn boxy plane. 12 niggas, one drop is still running worth a shame. Just a fucking pussy boy, I'm on my nutsack. While your ass believing and following, I'm knowledging actual facts. Got your cool shit and telling my story in the way of caucus history. Black man that a God York, so tell the real story. Come and hotting up the place, we leave them dead, so fuck a trace. Come and crash the jazz with the ballers from my race. Come and hotting up the place, leave them dead, so fuck a trace. Come and crash the jazz with the ballers from my race. Come again. Every day there's these slaughter when you try cross the border. Every day I'm on fire when you try test the order. Every day there's these slaughter when you try cross the border. Every day I'm on fire when you try test the order. Tell them again, God. Every day there's these slaughter when you try cross the border. New world order plan. Every day I'm on fire when you try test the order. Millennium, true self. Every day there's these slaughter when you try cross the border. Oh, every day I'm on fire when you try test the order. It's a tribute to my leader and teacher, the most revolutionary black man in the history of America. Shiny bald head, Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Man, I'm so fed up with all the facts in this world. Love my earth, but polygamous more than one girl. Wartime got me heated. Governments commanded, conquered holy wars. In effect, and George Bush be the sponsor. I'm sick of that. Shine up, make unprotected that you want. Evils of this world of God wrote the scripts for that. So maintain the black. Keep your mind right. So here, study that. Actual facts, understand that this God man is black. Actual fact, new Black Panther party never whack. Hitting back, bust a God's ass, son, with a bat. And after that, Spear Jack Hammer to his drafted back. Look him in his eyes, tell him that's what he get for that. I will snatch you, beat you down, kick, bruise, and bat you. I have to break your molecules and regraft you. You stink suit in your gutter hole, you white scoop. Off-duty cop, kicked in the mouth with my boots. I'm a warrior, trained by Khalid Muhammad. I'm a terrorist, trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. Building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your targets, I'm a warrior, trained by Khalid Muhammad. I'm a terrorist, trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. Building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your target. As I pound the ground, concrete still erupting, you're blazing. I'm still amazing, no interruption, no hesitation to take a house nigga's head. Cause I'm sick of these cooning niggas with them pretty ass dreads. And I'm sick of hearing these bones, every verse is full of lead. And I'm sick of the radio keeping our babies misled. And I'm sick of these faggot niggas come dripping on your face, on your knees for this cracker, can't stay in your own ways. And I'm sick of happy niggas with these happy meal deals. And these Jewish ass labels don't love you for real. And I'm sick of every rapper claiming he poppin' still. You's a bitch for real, you never dreamed to kill. You're living back in us. Black Panthers making bush scoping us. Walking through the path, Harriet, Tubman set for us. Let's go through the math, revolution man is a must. We have come to clash everything that's irrelevant. I'm a trained by Khalid Muhammad, I'm a terrorist. Trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. Building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your targets, I'm a warrior. Trained by Khalid Muhammad, I'm a terrorist. Trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. Building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your targets. As my thoughts maintain to always remain black. Creep the other night, a devil named Jill got jacked. Big time boss man, run to the crossway and put the steel in his mouth. Take his wife and his ends, kill the hoe at the hotel to spend up all the things. I used to sleep in the street, so I don't need no fucking friends. All your guys won't be friending me, but still be loving your enemy. Residing in stupidity, but for my foes, I got no pity. I've been dead, the women moving out my city. I've been watching back up for them niggas who want to go stick me. Niggas staying stuck, everyone them getting shifty. Got body getting funky, now they call me Mr. Shitty. Because the hydro skunk and backward sweets. Eyes red as fire, now I'm ready to crush your fleets. And Mayday, Mayday. Now it's time to kill the beast. A new world order clan. No, not no vendor man from the east. I'm a warrior, trained by Khalid Muhammad. I'm a terrorist, trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. I'm building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your targets. I'm a warrior, trained by Khalid Muhammad. I'm a terrorist, trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. I'm building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your targets. I'm a warrior, trained by Khalid Muhammad. I'm a terrorist, trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. I'm building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your targets. I'm a warrior, trained by Khalid Muhammad. I'm a terrorist, trained by the Black Panther Party revolutionist. I'm building black liberation armies, never hit and miss. The first time take out your target. Black power gangsta, for real. Phil nigga and this Willow. Well, if you see me with me posse, me stamp on the land as a G.O.D. Now run go tell your friend, run go tell everybody. Say that this one not the standpoint, but the stampede. Now the informer, keep a watch on me. Them a tell see, cypher boys and that we not see. Them a tell see your pin for me equality. And slave I man feel nigga like me. Just a one way me case shoot me down badly. Once I Lord fit dead, then the news pon me. I'm cupping on me push talk, Bobby Picnic. Give thanks, give praise to Marcus Garvey. Say 1986, I find self mentally. Now me coming on the dance as a Dr. Liberty. Now me coming on the dance as a G.O.D. Now me coming on the dance with Panther Party. When we make all the pussy them free from me. Now me nice up the area, party, party. Make a whole body gal, feel roll she body. Make a whole body gal, feel roll upon me. Make she scream out me name, K-I-N-G. Let me chat with the people them universally. But them I go try test, them they know we study. But if you knew will all declare now the place RT. Well, if you see me with me, bossy, me stamp on the land as a G.O.D. Now run go tell your friend, run go tell everybody. Say this one not the standpoint, but the stamping. Well, if you see me with me, bossy.
Molotov, you blow him up.
Real me.
King, you doing?
Molotov.
That still is a sister that still lingers.
Let's go, nigga. We drop a few bombs. Full of fire.
You gotta get it to you, way. The only way we can do it is straight raw.
Trenton, New Jersey.
I'm deaf to the dope shit. So if I never heard of you the type of dude that I'm allergic to. I never lost a step. I left footprints while you other rappers running. Whatever that you got, I don't want it. I'm off it as how you grab a man and abuse it. I use the medicine and never use it. I use the cure and the congruent. In other words, the shit, that's what you meant. The man who wrote the plan and the blueprints. Yes, exactly. Been blown up. And any beef I showed up. If you underage, just repeat after the grown up. This is a clinic, this is authentic. Pack a lunch, this shit is a picnic. Eat the bars, just bear witness. I'm oddly, godly, hardly tardy. Cause I'm better than any, some, no, and everybody. What's that nut? Double or triple? Every roll, doubles and triples. You hustle right, you know, doubles and triples. Overshadow the problem, we with you. Molotov, I write the news and let the speakers meet the issues.
Set equations to this formula of militant mind. I'm a walking time bomb that's mathematically inclined. Get my guns 4 stars and my black boots shine. Put these bastards on the leash and a bullet to their mind. I'm a white supremacist, hit man for hire. Put a soldier from the ghetto with a warrior's fire. Pigs retire, better yet to hang from the wire. Mr. Hoover still alive when our leaders expire. Skinny jeans wearing berries, I'm a revolutionary. Assassination, real crackers wanna see me buried. I'm a hot commodity, original, can't compare me. So go fuck the mama was, now your witness is buried. As I stand on my own and resurrect thyself, covered in the blood of God to protect myself. With a spliff in my hand, as it calls my mental health, I see God in the mirror to reflect myself. Flag waving, black power against the flag raising. Throwing Molotov with that, so damn, we be amazing.
My brothers in Lord of Mayhem and brings as though. When it comes to this cheese, I am king, no pun intended. I should have big puns attendance at every function I'm in, bitch. How my city's represented. Half of you niggas mimic, other half been finished before they even started. As though I bring the order, so I'm begging your pardon or join the dilly departed. As soon as my flight departed, use my essence just to spark shit. Dollars off the extracurricular activities. My city's epitome of what these streets did to me. Made me care more about me. People's actions is thirsty. EMP concrete, praises to do and worthy. If we ain't cool nowadays, guess you didn't deserve me. The third of these MCs thinking they more deserving. Try to desert me, like that shit there can hurt me. But not giving a fuck, they listen but never heard me.
Peace and Black Falcon, welcome to another episode of the Black Survival Die. The choice is yours. Class broadcasting live every Warrior Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by the National Minister to bring to the Black Riders Liberation Party under our 5-star General Taka Wolverine Shakur and the National Deputy Field Marshal New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense under the leadership and auspices National Chairwoman General Crystal Muhammad, to speak of none other than our modern day George Jackson, the Black Dragon himself, Minister King Samir Shabazz. I'm here on his behalf today. I think he'll be popping in for a second. He has to deal with some things where he is. So I'm going to step in and today's class. We're here on August the 19th, 2020, on this wonderful warrior day of knowledge born, all being born to knowledge, and cipher, all being born to knowledge, and knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. Symbolic of the black man, representative of the sun, and that sun being in the center of the universe, the foundation of the universe. So we're going to be reading out of this sacred text, Message to the Warriors. And since we all are on Warrior Wednesday, I know y'all hear the thunder in the background and the rain, and that's what's going on. So we're going to talk about, on this Black Survive or Die, the degree entitled The Warrior's Preparedness. So we'll begin. At the heart of every African nationalist's lives lies the concern of securing our spaces against alien invasion. Above all else, it is the mandate that calls for us to ever be prepared for any threat, incursion, any emergency. So we teach disaster preparedness and emergency preparedness here on this Black Survivor Die show. This show has 2 degrees. We have disaster preparedness, and we also have general civilization class. So these titles have been going interchangeable since the inception of this particular series here on Do the Knowledge Radio for the last 5 years or more in specific. So the foundation of this class is disaster preparedness. The foundation of this particular platform is to bring about an awareness of your mind and to orient your mind to maintain a revolutionary insurrection posture. So as I said in the Black Political Thought series yesterday, we're dealing with a space and degree of survive or die. So to adopt or reinvigorate this revolutionary insurrection posture, or we will simply rest in peace, hence survive or die. So having that renewed understanding in regards to the foundation, let's continue. As servants of our people, we must know our most primary job is to defend them, excuse me, and we must never be caught unaware or ill-prepared for any threat, no matter how small or insignificant they may seem. So we go over these procedures. We go through these drills. We drill them in your head. We go over and over and over and over because repetition, spaced repetition leads to self-mastery. So we're dealing with this form of mastery in regards to these particular drills. Your bug-out bag, your EDC bag, your get home bag, your get home bag, and all of the aspects that's associated with the psychology of survival. We want your mind in the state of preparedness, a mind in the state of mental alertness and hypervigilance in regards to your survival, in regards to being able to identify and eliminate threats that come into your periphery or your material view. And even those threats that are not yet seen, to anticipate them and prepare accordingly. So when we're dealing with the warrior's preparedness, we understand that this is a renewed responsibility as it connects to the survival of our people. The survival is success. So the next statement is every threat is a threat. Every threat is a threat. I know we like to use the term when we say, oh, is that a threat or such and such threatening me, or, you know, that sounded like a threat. If it's a threat, it needs to be eliminated. You're not supposed to wait till something materializes as an actual threat. before you deem it a threat. So let's go to the next. What this should mean to us as frontline warriors is that we are responsible for our community's security. So, frontline warriors, this is our responsibility. This is why we train. This is why we study. This is why we exercise. This is why we go through all of the things that we do in preparation to do what we naturally do. Excuse me. Knowing that security should be present anytime we are anywhere together. It should be second nature, everywhere and at all times. Further, knowing that practice makes perfect, we should always be focused on operating at the highest possible skill level. When doing so, preparedness, which is the cornerstone of any efficient human security system, also requires much practice and proficiency. For this reason, we offer the following training and evaluation checklist for Black nationalists, because security is the subject of all kinds and conditions and situations. The range of skills warriors should be familiar with very greatly. Our attitude towards this should be what we would need to know to start from nothing and survive long enough to build a nation. Every African nationalist, regardless of age, sex, resource, or location, should put as much energy in becoming as well qualified in each of these as they can so as to be prepared for any exigent situation. Use the following checklist to gauge your own preparedness. Do not dismiss these skills as irrelevant or beyond your abilities. Learn as much as you can about each as you are able. Any level of experience can prove beneficial to us. Take the time to consider why each is important for our survival and nation building process. All right, so we're going to do an African nationalist checklist. In the categories, as I go through, you just take a mental note of where you are in proficiency, either an expert, many, some, few, or none. The first category is martial arts. The second category is archery. The third is cooking. The fourth is carpentry. The fifth is car and small engine mechanics. The sixth, gardening. Seven, swimming. Eight, canning. Nine, first aid. 10, fishing. 11, sewing. 12, plumbing. 13, electrical wiring. 14, camping, hiking, and backpacking. 15, rifle, gun, shotgun shooting. 18, exercise and fitness. 19, canoeing, rowing. 20, map and celestial reading. 21, survival training. 22, gunsmithing. 23, chemistry. 24, engineering. 25, masonry. So if you look at these particular skills as they are named here and identified, this is everything that's readily identifiable to build a nation. So if you're an expert at martial arts and you have no skills within archery, you make a gauge of this list, and this is something that you should have your particular skill set and awareness for each one. However, there's someone who is the best knower or the expert in all of these fields. So the one who is the expert is responsible for training up enough people to take on the task and responsibility of building up some sort of class that's able to teach everybody all of these skills. So everybody has a working knowledge of these particular skills. And now you have just equipped yourself with a guerrilla warfare outfit, because everybody in this outfit is prepared to be able to do everybody's task. So again, this African nationalist checklist is something that Baba is bringing. So this becomes a situation where you go into your next generation. So if you know martial arts, then you should be able to train up the people to be instructors in martial arts. So they can bring their children to you and train them up, or if, whoever it is. This is how it works in the guerrilla mind frame. The first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Everybody knows everybody's position all the way up. So anybody can be prepared if the person in the command is captured or killed. So, i.e., we're looking in this urban situation, I say urban situation, the person in the command gets killed or taken off the streets, they're locked up. The operations do not stop. This urban guerrilla warfare training does not stop. This urban guerrilla war training does not stop. So everything continues. So that second in command moves up, and then everybody else moves up 2 steps. So now it goes into, these reserves that are waiting. You pull them out, and everybody should have these skills. So if everybody has these particular skills, then nothing is in lack, and your guerrilla operations have just become impenetrable. So that means no outside forces can come in and disrupt or destroy, even unto death. Everybody understands that all souls shall taste it. So, we relish in the fact that we are prepared and we've done everything possible to be welcomed back into the ancestral realm in a state of gladness. So, everybody who's proficient in these skills, these are the people you should be surrounding yourself with. These are the people. Anybody who's proficient, or any African who's proficient in these skills, who has the right type of politics, an African nationalist, you should be peering and looking for people who fit these descriptions and these categories, and looking for ways to bring people together to learn how to deal with all of these skills. So these are nation building skills. All of these skills are necessary. And the only way we're going to be proficient at all is to find someone who is qualified and empower them to teach. This is a good time to be identifying, doing your reconnaissance, and ensure that you're using these opportunities right here to find these people. So if people are saying, what's some things that we should be doing, some things that we can't be doing, like, hey, finding somebody who knows how to garden, somebody who got this guerrilla gardening down pat, and join that society. Somebody who's swimming, somebody who's canning, somebody who knows first aid. If you have to go outside of your community to learn those skills, you go learn them skills with the renewed mindset that you bring them back to your guerrilla outfit, and you outfit them with these particular skills. Fishing, invaluable. Sewing, invaluable. Plumbing, invaluable. Electrical wiring. These are all these skills that you can learn behind the scenes without raising any attention to anybody. So, and these are all skills to ensure that you'll be able to eat for the rest of your life. So if you're talking about electrical wiring, looking at these schematics and all of these breakdowns and learning how these things work, there are people that are out here that'll teach you. There's apprenticeships you could go into. And if it isn't you directly, you send somebody to these places to get this information and bring it back. This is how a guerrilla outfit operates. You send some people over there, they get that information, and they bring that intel back. Camping, hiking, backpacking. Got to be able to do it. Got to be able to do it. When it's time to move and hit and go off grid, you got to be able to go do that. So what goes hand in hand with camping, hiking, backpacking? Shooting, fitness, canoeing, rowing, map, and celestial reading, survival skills, gunsmithing, chemistry, engineering, masonry. All of these things are building blocks that go hand in hand with one another. So now, if we could go back to the top of the list, I just want to spend a couple of more seconds and show you how all these things weave together. When you talk about martial arts, so either you talking about martial arts with empty hands or martial arts with weapons. Mastering these particular weapon systems and mastering your body as a weapon. So that's the first thing. Second, archery. So you're there with a bow staff. You go from a bow staff to a bow and arrow, and then you go into the crossbow. You learn all of these things. So these are used. They can be used for self defense or for hunting. So the next is cooking. Okay, so how do you know how to use these particular tools to butcher up if you eat meat, whatever the case may be, to be able to cook up and prepare what you kill, and then that goes to carpentry. So if you could use these tools to kill, you can use these tools to build. These things build off one another. So you have these tools readily available, or you have the kind of mind that it takes, the psychology that it takes to be able to build. So carpentry, and then you get into car and small engine mechanics. You know, these minor repairs that's necessary to be that you could do on your own. You need to learn all of the skills that you possibly can in that way. You know, to avoid having to go into places where you can be set up, you could be ambushed, you could be taken. Gardening. So wherever you are, you could get right to it. You could get right to this uh, particular skill set that our ancients called husbandry. You know, that ability to till the ground, to plant seeds in fertile soil. You know, to be able to find irrigation and all of these sources by which you can eat. You know, so these are the things that you find yourself concerned with. You'll be able to eat. Swimming. So you're not in a position to where you depending on your life jacket for your life. You might have to swim to save your life. You might have to swim in order to get your food source if you're eating meat. And then canning, for what you're able to take, how long can you preserve it? With no refrigeration source or anything like that, that you can preserve it. So then you look at first aid. All of these things kind of go together. When you're looking at first aid for yourself or your community, they got free classes all of the time. You can go to these classes. You can get those supplies. That's the main thing about going to these classes, getting these supplies. You can go to these religious institutions, wow, especially we in a state like this, and say, oh, we need, some of these supply kits. We need you get whatever you can get while you can get them. First aid kits. It's supposed to be in your bug out bag, supposed to be in your EDC bag, any bag that you have. Something with first aid has to be in there. That should be throughout all of it, in your vehicle, on your person, all of it, because you never know what kind of situation you're going to find yourself in, and that's something that you need to brush your skills up and be constantly adamant at. Anything can happen. So it's not just the traumatic experiences; it's the most basic experiences. A cut, a sprain, a bruise, a break, a fracture, um, a seizure, any of those things. These are all natural occurrences that can happen out of nowhere, and then you need to be prepared to deal with them. So back to fishing is next. Fishing to get that food, sewing to be able to uh, sew up a wound or sew some clothes, patch up some clothes, whatever the case may be. Plumbing, this is a master skill that's needed to know. So whether you off with the grid or you building a house from scratch. So just like we going into electric wiring, all of those things, they work hand in hand. Okay, so camping, hiking, backpacking. This is why all of these skills come together in this same regard. So if you're there and you're prepared to go on the go, you know how to go and move in that certain kind of way. So whether this archery or shooting, you prepared to hunt, you prepared to fish, you prepared to know what plants can feed you, what plants could kill you, what plants could heal your wounds, what plants could heal your what you call it, those blisters and things like that. So the tinctures, the teas, all of these people are very valuable when you're talking about building your small group or your guerrilla outfit. You need the people who have all of these skills. The people with the most proficient that are most proficient in these areas and they're willing to teach. And y'all could work out some situational compensation for them or just cross training or whoever has these skills. Everybody bring all their skill sets together and they're able to go. So we got exercise and fitness is the utmost, especially in a time like this. You know, it alleviates a depressed mood, and the last thing you need plaguing your psyche is some kind of depressor or stressor or detractor away from your mental health and fitness alertness. So canoeing, rowing, that goes hand in hand with swimming, all working together. And then you got map and celestial reading. You know, if your GPS don't work, you need to be able to know how to navigate off a natural environment using dead reckoning skills and all of that. I think I'll talk about that one day. I'll just get into that. Map reading and celestial reading, the pathway to the stars. Don't be in Black August talking about you love Harriet Tubman and you ain't realize how she charted her map to freedom from the stars, being able to read the constellations. You know, the people said that she couldn't read. She, I don't know what you rather want her reading books or reading the stars to chart your way through the Underground Railroad. Survival training. Enough said. I mean, you're here. Survival training. Gunsmithing. Very, 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 very important skill to be able to put all of these things together. Chemistry. You know, that comes in handy in a myriad of ways. And for those warriors who know what I mean, you know exactly what I mean. Engineering, another skill. And the last one is masonry, you know, building edifices, building shelters, whatever the case may be. These are all there and valuable skills. So let me get back to this last little part before we wrap this up. In a focused mind, the more skills, the better. And every skill can be useful in war's arena. In addition to being knowledgeable and or proficient in these areas, a significant amount of attention also needs to be paid to the design and execution of security drills. If you don't have security drills within your outfit, within your family, within your community, if they don't know how to move according to whatever the threat level is, then you got to get busy. Specifically, security drills are the purpose of positioning adults in alert, protective positions and making sure our children invisible and making our children invisible to the enemy. Like the fire, tornado, hurricane, earthquake, and flood drills we are already well familiar with. They are designed to save lives and if possible, secure property and space. Since the 1950s, we, unlike other groups, have totally neglected our emergency security drills. We believe that we are an American and that the Europeans have the equipment, manpower, knowledge, readiness, and desire to secure us with them in times of danger. Most importantly, though, we do not see them as a threat. So, even despite all of these other things, we have neglected and broke the first law of nature, which is self-preservation. So we no longer look at threats as threats. You heard Bible say a threat is a threat. So the greatest threat to our survival is everybody else on the planet. And they know this. So in times and situations of elevated duress, they will come for you. They will come for your family. They don't give a damn about your life and existence. So we think that we belong here. This is our place. We're Americans, and we ain't got to worry about any of that stuff. In times of natural disaster or what they call it, state of emergency, those people that are in positions of power and those who are in positions of authority we already have provisions set for us. They're going to help us. They're going to help us right into our fucking grave. So you need to understand that. Interestingly, and though it should be common sense, security drills are one aspect of communal security that we seriously overlook. And Baba has a new book, Common Sense Security, that everybody should get, www.occupanthouse.com. However, the importance to our safety in the face of this terror we call Western society can never be emphasized enough. At this time, wherever you are on the planet, we are in alien-occupied spaces, and nationalists should never feel secure in any space we do not fully control. Never. Therefore, we must take our security drills more seriously than any type of survival strategy, because our greatest threat, the greatest threat to our existence, comes from the other people, not natural disasters. So we got natural disasters and infirmities, be that what they may, but we understand the threat from our open enemy is the greatest and highest probability of occurrence versus these natural disasters. So what do the children do and what do the adults do when the alien threat comes to the front door, the back door, or any given window? Is able to successfully enter the premises? What plans have been put in place? What drills are regularly exercised which will alert and move us into plan, practice, action, and defense? And our children in space. If we truly believe that we are at war, then we should be acting accordingly. Let common African sense be your guide as to what to do and how to do it. Who knows what should always be determined on a need-to-know basis. What you do and how you do it should not be a part of any public discussion. So this is what I wanted to cover. Make sure you tune back in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Do the Announce Radio for the Black Survivor Die series. The choice is yours. So peace, love, black power, be Pahulie, or be Tumi.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.